Hello friends, class is in session. This is your host Luis. Thank you guys for being with us today. Today we're going to go over all of the black stuff, or not all of it. I don't think they have revealed all of the black stuff. But this morning and yesterday they released some of the black stuff that's going to be coming out in the new set. The name of the new set is Unison Warrior Series Set 4 Supreme Rivalry, and they went ahead and revealed some of the black stuff, the 2 black leaders that are going to be coming out, and some of the support that's going to be out for black. You guys know that I play black and green, and we're going to go over a lot of this stuff that they're coming out today. We're going to spend some time on the Supreme Kai of Time stuff, but mostly we're going to spend our time on the Meki Kabura stuff. Okay, the Meki is going to be really, really fun, I think, especially because they brought Wish right back. But we're going to go ahead and jump into what these card skills do, what they are, what they're going to do for us in this new set. And I think that these 2 decks are going to be quite dangerous, actually. But I'm going to go ahead and read these. Supreme Kai of Time. Auto Burst 3. When this card attacks, you draw 1 card. So you put 3 cards in your drop area, draw a card. You're probably going to end up running 60, anywhere between 55, 60 cards in the deck, because you're going to put a lot of cards in your drop area pretty early on. This has a bit of a hybrid awakening. So when your life is at 4 or less, so you have 8 or more cards in your warp, you may draw 2 cards, add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 left, and then flip this card over. So essentially, if you hurry up and get cards in the warp, this is a plus 4 cards to your hand, and you want to awaken before your opponent brings you down to 4 life for the front, for the ability on the back side. Supreme Kai of Time, the Chrono Keeper. So auto once per turn, when you play a battle card using Overrealm, you draw 1 card, then you place up to 3 black battle cards from your warp in your drop area. So let's say you're playing something with Overrealm 3, it's basically played for free, because those 3 cards that you use to send from the drop area to your warp are sent right back into the drop area. This is an auto, it just happens automatically. And the cool thing is that this leader is not on the backside, at least. You don't have to swing with it in order to draw. So your opponent puts in rest mode. Oh man, you lost your draw. Well, not with the backside of the Supreme Kai. Secondly, activate main. Once per turn, 1 black energy. This is why it's important. Choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. If you don't have a Unison card in play, play up to 1 black Unison card with no specified cost and 9k power from your drop area or warp with a marker on it. I'll show you guys why that in a little bit. The Unison goes really, really well with this leader. Like, absolutely tremendous. It's wonderful. And that's why this deck, I think, is going to be quite dangerous. Activate main. The second activate main, you place 1 card from your life into your drop area, which is why you want to awaken sooner rather than later. Place up to 2 black battle cards from your warp in your drop area, and battle cards you play using Overrealm are not sent to the warp at the end of the turn. Okay, this is awesome. Now this doesn't include, well, Dark Overrealm stuff doesn't go anywhere anyhow. But this only includes yourself the cards with Overrealm, which is really nice. And we're going to go over some of those new things. I can already tell that many of you guys are already thinking about, you know, what cards can I put in there? What cards are viable options for me to be able to play and they don't go away? What Overrealm cards do more, you know, in the long run? Because a lot of Overrealm cards, they just do what they do the turn they're played, and they don't do anything anymore. So it might not be worth it to keep those cards on board. But there might be a couple that are. We're going to talk about this Wish leader, though. Before we talk about everything else, we're going to talk about this Wish leader. I'm so stoked. Wish is the first deck that I played, and this makes me really, really excited, especially because I switched over to black now instead of yellow. So permanent, you can only include up to 7 Dark Dragon Ball cards in your deck. All right, this is really good. This is it balances the deck out a little bit, because if it didn't have that permanent, people could play 4 of every single Dark Dragon Ball. Now, I don't know why in the world you would do that, but it is possible. It's possible, especially because you can make it a multicolored deck. Now, that doesn't work on the front side. If you make it a multicolored deck, it doesn't work on the front side, but it doesn't mean that some people won't try and do that. All right, when this card attacks, you add up to 2 Dark Dragon Ball cards from your deck and or life to your hand and shuffle any areas you look through using the skill. This is great because compared to other Wish leaders, typically when they swung, they only added 1 from their deck or their life. Only 1 Dark Dragon Ball. Or if it added 2 Dragon Balls from their deck or life, they had to be switched to rest mode, and that card could never swing. And that's why Meki is great, I think, because he's able to swing and then add those 2 cards. And you're able to awaken really quickly with this deck. And I'll show you guys a couple cards that they released today, a little while ago. and so that you can awaken much sooner. All right, so wish, when you have 7 Dark Dragon Ball cards in your drop area, draw a card, switch up to one of your energy to active mode. Then your opponent sends 1 battle card from the drop area to the warp, and you get to flip this guy over. Very simple, self-explanatory awaken. Difference here is that it doesn't add a wish card from your drop area to your hand. It just allows you to draw one, which is it isn't too bad at all, I don't think. Front side, the artwork is sick. This is a wonderful card. I'm so excited for this deck, I really am. When this card attacks, you draw 1 card. Once per turn, if all your energy is black and you choose 1 card in your hand, place it at the bottom of your deck, choose one. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less. You negate its skills for the game, switch that card to active mode, and then you gain control of it. This is phenomenal. You get to take control of cards on your opponent's side of the board once per turn. I feel like this is unheard of. I'm sure there's a Unison that allows you to do that over and over again, or do that multiple times. I think there was a Toa Unison. There's a Toa Unison that allows you to take control of cards. There's another yellow Meki that allows you to take control of cards, and then there's the green Ginyu deck that allows you to take control of cards. But they have to meet so many requirements, or you have to pay like 4 energies or whatever in order to get to that point. All you gotta do is awaken with this guy. And once per turn, you can just snatch cards on your opponent's side of the board. So your opponent knows you're going to do that. He knows for a fact you're going to do that. Or she. They know you're going to do that, so they got to take their time and try to figure out, how do I play around this. Remove 7 Dark Dragon Ball cards in your drop area from the game, and if you do, this card gains triple attack for the turn. Which is really nice if you're going for game, though. Your opponent has like 3-4 cards in his hand, whatever. 3 cards in his hand. You start swinging face over and over again. This is good. And good game ending tech right here. All right, so really quickly, this is the Unison for the Supreme Kai leader. Alright, so once per turn, burst 1 if your leader card is a black Saiyan card or a God card only. No, they have to be Saiyan only or God only. And when you play a battle card using Overwhelm, this card gains Wormhole. Alright. So you don't have to play this card just in the Supreme Kai. You can play it with some of the other stuff. Now, Supreme Kai, this works really well in Supreme Kai because it's played for free in Supreme Kai. Any other deck, you're typically gonna tap an energy for it, but it's just a great Unison, because now Wormhole, the keyword Wormhole, is not locked to just one leader like it used to be, and we'll go over what Wormhole is here in just a second. But he has a +1 and a -3. You place up to 2 black battle cards from your warp in your drop area. All right, so 5 cards from your warp back in your drop area every single turn, and a -3. Add up to 2 battle cards with energy cost of 7 or less and overwhelm skill from your warp to your hand. We're gonna go over what this Wormhole means. I know some of you guys haven't been around super long. There are new people coming into the game. So Wormhole was given to the Demigra leader back in set 4. All right. And we're just going to read over what Wormhole is right here. Wormhole, you can activate Overwhelm and Dark Overwhelm up to total of 2 times a turn. Okay, so that's what Wormhole means. All right, so I want you guys to keep in mind that you're able to now play Overwhelm and Dark Overwhelm cards 2 times a turn. All you had to do is once per turn, just burst 1 card. Right? You burst a card, and now you're able to play Overwhelm twice. You're able to play Overwhelm and Dark Overwhelm twice. And the reason why that works so well with this leader is because if you smack one of your lives, put them in the drop area, your cards with Overwhelm are not sent to the warp at the end of the turn anymore. And now your cards with Overwhelm, I apologize, stay on board. And that's just really nuts. I think that's crazy. Supreme Kai time. This is a counter negate. Negate an attack and play this card. Negate the attack and play this card. If your opponent has 3 or more cards in the warp, reduce the energy cost in reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. I apologize. So it comes out for 1 energy. If your leader card is black, when this card is played using a counter attack skill, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the owner's warp. Really good removal, and it's free. She's a 5k body on board, so it's not that great, but you can use it a combo. At the end of the turn, play any card sent to a warp by this skill to the owner's battle areas with their skills negated for the turn. So it removes big boys that are obnoxious, and they come back with their skills negated. So if they have any autos that allows them to, when this card is played, do something stupid, you stop that completely. Now, the card is going to have its skills active again, but at least it'll be gone long enough for you to be able to do whatever you want to. If it's a blocker, it's gone, and now you can swing at your opponent. So these are going to be two cards that are going to be, I think, my two favorites. I think SS4 Vegeta is going to be my favorite card out of this one and the next one I'm about to show you, because I care for Vegeta more than I care about Goku. Both of them, it's either SS4 Vegeta thwarting the Dark Empire or SS4 Goku thwarting the Dark Empire. It has critical overwhelm 6 for 1 energy. When this card attacks, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to a total energy cost of 4 and send them to the owner's warps. So this is very similar to Secret Identity, Mass Saiyan. When he's played, you get rid of cards whose total energy costs up to 6. But this is going to be able to happen every single time this card attacks. Now, if you're playing this in Dark Broly, you're going to do this maybe once per turn or whatever. But it's good because this card right here, you're able to use him as cost to, put him from your warp back into your drop area, draw a card, and if you're using him in Dark Broly. But if you use him in the Supreme Kai of Time leader, he's not going to go away at the end of your turn. He's going to stay there, and every single time you swing, you just get a warp card of your opponent's board over and over and over again. And he's a critical, 30k critical. Your opponent has to combo a lot or negate every single time this guy is going to swing. Now, he has no protection, but he comes out for 1 energy, so I don't think he needs any protection. SS4 Son Goku thwarting Dark Empire. Also the same thing. Difference between this guy and the other is that this guy has blocker. So finally, Vegeta has a better skill than Goku. This guy, when it attacks, it draws a card, and at the end of the turn, you switch it to active mode. So it's a blocker you can use. So it's good on offense and defense. But personally, I think that the critical is better, and the field removal is better, because you're essentially, depending on the deck you're playing against, you're already getting rid of cards on your opponent's side, on your opponent's hand. So field removal, I think, is always better, personally, than hand destruction. It's also a more viable option than hand destruction. Hand destruction typically comes in small bursts, and field control is consistent throughout the game. Trunks thwarting the Empire. If your leader card is black, Supreme Kai, when this card is played using Overrealm, send up to 2 cards from the top of your deck to your warp, and then draw 1 card. This is a way for you, personally, I think that this is a way for you to put more cards from your warp into your drop area. I think it all depends on what time you play this card. If you use this card using Overrealm when you only have 2 cards in your drop area, you're able to put 3 cards from your warp back into your drop area. So you end up with more cards in your drop area than you had previously. 10k critical, so these guys are meant to be played early. This has double strike. I don't think they're that good. I think there's a Gotenk stuff that you can play in black. And this is Goten Surging Strike. I'm gonna skip on this for a little while. Personally, don't really care too much for it. But Clash of the Masked Warriors. This card is great. Activate battle. Choose one of your opponent's Unison cards. Your opponent may remove a marker from that card. If they don't, your leader card doesn't take damage from attacks by their Unison cards with strike skills for the battle. Alright, so right now, Vegeta Unison, the yellow one, is kind of nasty. Especially because Gohan and other decks like that, they're not using it they're using it, to counter Dark Broly and stuff, but you can get rid of it fairly quickly with Supreme Kai time or just swinging at it with cards with 15k, right? The reason why that card is great is because your opponent uses it as a finisher. So they'll play it with 3 markers, give him an extra marker, remove 3 markers, and then swing 20k double strike dual attack. This card right here allows you to either remove a marker from that, or you just don't take a damage. So your opponent either kills it, or he leaves it on board, but it's dead. Now, your opponent can still swing at other things, but you'll stay alive, which is the good thing. Now, I wanted to go over one card tech specifically that I was thinking would work really, really well in this Dark King Mexicabora Restored to the Throne. Alright, so again, this is for his Choose One ability. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less, negative skills for the game, switch that card to active mode and gain control of it. So if it's a 20k beat stick with double strike, yellow ape or something like that, he doesn't have double strike anymore, but he stays double. And he switched to active mode and you take control of it. I believe that if the card is not in rest mode, you still get to take control of the card. But the card that I was thinking would be pretty good for this deck right here is Ginyu the Body Snatcher. So this guy has inherent double strike with a 20k base. His permanent sucks. Alright, this card gets minus 10k power during your opponent's turn. And his secondary auto here, you're not actually able to use that. So basically, if your leader card's a green Ginyu Force, you're able to give this card and other green Ginyu Force cards on board an extra 10k. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work because your leader is black. Okay, so this is how you play it. You choose one battle card you gain control of from your opponent's side of the board. You kill it, and then you're able to play this card. Very, very easy. 20k double strike for free. All you had to do was bottom deck a card off your leader's ability, snatch control of that card, and now you're able to play that guy. 20k double strike, 100% for free. Dark King Meki, power restored, deflect, and double strike. So it's not going to get hit by any counterplays from the game, which is really nice. And it comes out for 4 energies. This card is obviously meant to be played in the Meki deck, because if your leader card is a Meki Kibora only card, you play this card from your hand. If not, you have to tap 8 energies to play it. It's an SR, and it's really sick. So I have a feeling they're going to be playing. They're going to be giving us SPRs of this card. So you're only going to run like 2, maybe 3 in the deck. But it has deflect and double strike, 30k power. So it also works in Dark Broly. Not as a card on board, but as a card in your drop and Warberry. King Vegeta, a Kingdom Lost. Man, this King Vegeta stuff is kind of sick. I showed you guys last video that I posted. I showed you guys the Unison for green, which is kind of sick. I do think that the King Vegeta stuff is going to be really, really nice. Now, I also want to say that some of this stuff seems like it's for the Shroom and Salsa deck, and it is the case. You're able to play a lot of these things in the Shroom and Salsa deck, but I don't think it's necessarily meant for it, and I'll explain why here in a second. I'm about to show you guys a card in a second. This has unique double strike and barrier, so once it hits board, it's going to be hard to get rid of. Doesn't have deflect though, so you can get hit, right? But it can't be removed. It's going to be really hard for your opponent to get it off the board. And when this card is played, you choose up to 1 card in your opponent's hand or up to 1 of their battle cards and send it to the owner's warp. So you either make them pitch a card or you kill something on board. And if this card is in rest mode, when your opponent attacks a leader card, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and sends it to the warp, which is really, really nice. If this man's is in rest mode, your opponent swings, they have to pitch a card. And you cheat this guy out for 2 energies. If your opponent has 3 or more cards in the warp, play this card from your hand, but you have to tap 2 black energies. It can't be any other color. Black Smoke Dragon, Offering of Destruction. First of all, the artwork is sick. I really, really like this artwork. It looks like it's not even Dragon Ball, to be honest. It has Rejuvenate, and if your leader card is black, you remove 4 markers from this card. That is the cost. There is a bit of a downside with this gentleman right here. He has a permanent. Because he is Shenron, the game is very consistent. This card cannot attack. But activate main, you add a marker to the card. So you can activate Rejuvenate, you can activate the activate main, and you can activate his -1. Alright, and his -1 allows you to awaken crazy fast. Your opponent sends 1 battle card from their drop area to the warp, and you place up to 2 Dark Dragon Ball cards from your deck in your drop area, and then shuffle the deck and then draw 1 card. So turn 1, you already got 4. You already have 4 cards in 4 Dark Dragon Balls ready to go. You either place them from your deck into the drop area, or you add them to your hand with your leader. And then you're able to draw a card. So the -1 on this is very, very, very good, I think, personally. It's an uncommon, so everyone's going to have at least 12 copies of this card if they buy a box. If you'd like to swing the fulls my way, I'm not going to complain. Meki Ritual at Hand, nice card. I think it's great. This allows you to awaken very, very quickly with the Meki Kibora leader. I'll explain why here in a second. When this card is played, draw 1 card. If your leader card's a Meki only card, look at the top 7 cards from the deck. You either play a Toa, Shroom, or Salsa with an energy cost of 4 and 15k power or less from among them, and then shuffle your deck. You can't activate main skills on copies of this card for the turn. So basically, it gives you 3 options to play. You guys know me. I'm not going to play Toa, so I'm not even going to go over it, all right? But you are able to play either Shroom or Salsa. And Shroom and Salsa, you might be thinking, you know, this is for the Shroom and Salsa deck, but you have to keep in mind that this Meki Ritual at Hand, sorry about that, it only works if your leader is a Meki Kibora only, and Shroom and Salsa leader, that's just not the case. Shroom, if you have 2 or more energy, when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 battle card in their drop area and sends it to the warp. Then you choose up to 1 of their battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less and send it to the owner's warp. So you get to warp 2 cards, 1 from your opponent's drop area and 1 from your opponent's field. Alright, so I mentioned to you guys earlier that the Meki leader is able to awaken really, really early. And it's not just due to the Unison or the leader skill. It's also due to Shroom and Salsa. If your leader card's a Meki only card and you have 2 or more Dark Dragon Ball cards in your drop area, play this card from your hand and place up to 2 Dark Dragon Ball cards from your deck in your drop area. Shuffle your deck if you look through it. Now, typically you're going to want to play this card off of Meki, or at least that's the hope, because he's playing it for free and then you're able to swing and then kill cards off your opponent's side of the board. But personally, I might not even play Meki. I might not play Meki. I might just play a 2-2 split on Shroom, maybe 4 of each, just so that I can awaken really quickly. Because Salsa's activate main is the same. If your leader card's Mechie only and you have 2 or more Dark Dragon Balls in a drop area, play this card from your hand, then place up to 2 Dark Dragon Ball cards from your drop area to your area, shuffle a deck if you look through it. So, very quickly, you're able to get 2 Dark Dragon Balls off your leader, 2 Dark Dragon Balls off your Unison, and 2 off of Shroom, and maybe 2 off of Salsa. And this all can be done by turn 3. Very soon, early awaken. That's not to mention the Dark Dragon Balls that you're going to draw. Alright. The auto off of Salsa is when this card is played, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, sends it to the warp, and draws 1 card, which is not that great. So I might just skip out on this one. But when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 battle card in their drop area and sends it to the warp, draw 1 card, and you can't activate the auto skills on copies of this card for the turn. So you get both of their autos, but the first auto kind of sucks. Hey. Dark Shenron, Wicked Wishmaster. So he has an ability. His permanent is Shenron, so it can't attack, and it's a 20k body. It's kind of frustrating that you can't swing with a 20k body on board. Shenron looks kind of sick, honestly. If your leader card is black, when a battle card in your opponent's drop area is sent to the warp by one of your skills, you draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the owner's warp. You can't cheat him out, which kind of sucks. You do have to tap 2 energy for it. So it's pretty good. I mean, it's a it's a draw, and then you get to warp a card from your opponent's board. So I think that's really decent. It just has to come out for 2 energies, and you can't swing with it. So I think that's a bit of a negative. The fact that you do have to tap 2 energies, he's on board, and then you can't swing, and he doesn't have any protection either. So if your opponent kills it, he's dead. You're not getting him back. The reason why this card's any good, though, is because of its activate main. If your leader card's a Mechie and you choose 1 of your black Unison cards with Rejuvenate skill, place this card under the chosen card from your hand, add a marker to that card, and you can't activate the activate skills on copies of this card for the turn. So it's really easy to recur markers on this Unison, and this card makes it viable. Now, Rejuvenate does expect you to pitch a card from under him into the drop area, and Dark Shenron Wicked Master is the card to go. Finally, we got 2 more cards, I think, maybe 3. Darkness Judgment, negate the attack, and if your opponent has 3 or more cards in the warp, you can activate this card's activate battle from your hand without paying its energy. So it's a dual card, so it has 2 abilities. One is free, and the other one costs 1 energy. It just negates the attack. But if your leader card is a Mechie card only, and it's your opponent's turn, choose 1 of your cards, and it gets 5k power for the turn. So it isn't bad. I don't think it's that great. Here is the new Dark Dragon Ball that they have revealed. Yearning for the Dark Dragon Balls. You can only include 7 copies of this card in your deck. This is the one you're going to want to play. Are able to play the other ones, alright? But this is the one that you really want to play. Gains Dark Dragon Ball in all areas. If your leader card is a Black Demon Realm race, your opponent chooses 1 of their battle cards with an energy cost of 1 and sends it to the owner's warp. Now, I do believe you're able to activate it either way, whether your opponent chooses or not. If it said your opponent chooses up to 1, it would give your opponent the option. So I do think that you can activate it whether your opponent has energy cost, battle cards with energy cost of 1 or not, and choose 1 of your cards and it gets 5k battle for the battle. So it's got good defense and good removal. I think personally, I think it's a really good card. It doesn't draw like the rest, like the normal Dragon Ball, but it could be worse. Again, thank you guys so much for spending this time with us today. I'm gonna leave you guys with this SR artwork. Hopefully they reveal the SPR. Really excited to show that to you guys. I know some of you guys are already thinking of other things that you can play in here. Because this leader is a Demon Realm race, you're able to play the green counter, which is really fun, I think. And more than anything, this set, Supreme Kai Time, Secret Rare, is going to be extremely useful coming into set 13. So if there's any way you guys can get your hands on that, you've got to get it. It's become a staple in every deck. You can kill Rejuvenate Unisons fairly quickly. And I just can't stress the importance of that. The Unisons are starting to run the game. They're starting to become second leaders that you can remove. They are capable of removing them. But Unisons are quite powerful in this game. So if you can get yourself that secret, get it. You can put it in any deck. You can just do whatever you need to do with it. You guys let us know what deck you're excited to play or see. If you guys want us to talk about any other decks that are coming out, I might post a video on Chilled. You guys let us know down in the comments and stuff. Do you want me to talk about Chilled and stuff that's going to be coming out for it? Just let us know. We'd love to talk about it. We'd love to share anything that we can with you guys. Go check out the Dragon Ball Super Card Game Facebook page, so that way you're up to date on the reveals and stuff like that. Again, thank you guys for spending this time with us today. We're praying for you guys always. Class is dismissed.